If you're going to be using government resources, an obvious answer is Whitehouse.gov. The first thing I notice about this page is from a quick scroll across the top, there is no tab explaining who the site is about, what their mission is, and how they worked. That's not readily clear. While the site seems to believe the answer is obvious, an explanation would still have been nice, just to delineate how the purpose and subject matter of this site is different from other government websites. So what is the site about, and who would use it? From a quick scroll of the landing page, the site appears to be designed to keep the public appraised of the actions of the executive branch of the government. This includes things like the social events, the presidential weekly addresses, biographies of the president and first lady and other members, information on how the general public can become involved, digital tours and history of the executive branch and executive branch properties, and information about the government's stance and how the government is handling various issues such as the economy or the environment. As to who would use the site, it's a good way to keep abreast of current events and our government's overall vision for where we are and where we're going. This is the public face, so to speak, of the government and the unifying force behind all the different departments. If you're looking for information on the United States as a whole, and on the actions, visions, and pulse of the country as a whole, this is the official source. Moving on to user friendliness and layout, the site appears to be cleanly organized with the same reference tabs seen commonly on other sites, and important current events on the landing page itself. It's nice that on the bottom of the page there's the same information that's in all of the tabs at the top, so you can see everything at once without having to scan from tab to tab if you don't want to. This is also a handy feature for those on mobile devices where tabs don't always work cleanly or easily. I also appreciate the bright colors, especially the red, which really pops and catches your attention. Now we're ready to tackle our 5 evaluation questions. First, is the government branch or agency responsible for the data considered reliable? This is a sensitive issue, as many people have very strong opinions about any American president. While there are always rumors about presidents, most are easily dismissed and do not gain widespread attention. President Barack Obama has faced perhaps more distrust than other presidents, as he has faced lingering and widespread rumors that he is an atheist out to destroy Christianity, that he is a Muslim, and that he lacks an American birth certificate. None of these rumors have been substantiated, and there is much proof to discredit these rumors entirely, such as the publication of Obama's birth certificate. Rumors aside, the government gains nothing by lying about laws passed or about social events. These are all things that are corroborated by other media sources. While the executive branch may not disclose all information, such as secret meetings or issues of national security, the government has given the public no concrete reason to distrust information from the executive branch, although it does face much skepticism from the public. If something goes wrong, the public assigns blame to the most public figure, which is the executive branch, and more specifically the president, as he is, so to speak, the boss. So what political agendas or biases may be present due to the government branch or agency responsible for the data? Information presented by the executive branch through Whitehouse.gov is very definitely biased. President Obama and his administration want to present a positive image of how effective their administration has been and want to gain public support and approval. Even though the president does not have to convince the public to re-elect him, as he is already serving his second term, he does still want the public to elect a member of his political party in the next election, so that his initiatives will continue to move forward with the next president's support and that of the voting publics. With this in mind, information from Whitehouse.gov is presented with a positive spin on the executive branch and a negative slant on opponents. An example would be, if we go to the Issues page, this is where you're going to be able to see most of your biases. If we go down to Immigration, if we click on Learn More, and scroll down, we can see from this infographic how the president has listed his actions as doing his job. Here's the progress the Obama administration has made, and his opponents, the Republican Party, as failing on the job. This is one example of the slant and the powerful language used that can be found throughout the site. So who actually collected the data on the site and how? The Whitehouse.gov website reports on data that they are creating. They are reporting their own speeches, initiatives, and positions and social events. If you navigate to a section such as Immigration under Issues, which is where we are, they do have facts like how many illegal immigrants, if we go back, how many illegal immigrants are in the United States, which it lists as being 11 million. However, it doesn't make it clear where these facts came from. Further knowledge of government would make the user think about what type of information this is and what other government agency might be responsible for its collection, such as perhaps the United States Bureau of Census. Our next question, is this a primary or secondary source? The answer is both. While most of the site is a secondary source because it is explaining or reporting on things that have already happened, some of the material, such as the audio transcripts of speeches and remarks, would be considered primary sources. So why was this site written and for whom? This site was written to inform the general public and to convince the general public to support the executive branch. Let's conclude with some general thoughts. This is a nice site for getting a read on the public face of the United States government and the official positions of the executive branch. However, the bias inherent in the page means that this is not a source one would use in isolation to get a true read on the nation. This would be one source of many.